I am here getting eaten by mosquitoes to let you know that the AFC West is the next division to be released in my NFL fan series. For those of you that are unaware, the AFC West consists of the Kansas City Chiefs, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Denver Broncos, and of course the lovely Las Vegas Raiders. This division is going to be fascinating because they have the #1 overall pick, but there's also teams in this division that have done very well over the past couple of seasons, and so it's going to get interesting to see who performs well consistently, who wins these games, what it looks like, what is going on with Patrick Mahomes. There's so much happening in this division, and I'm excited to let you hear these conversations. Speaking of the Patrick Mahomes of it all, I don't think anybody doubts the Kansas City Chiefs. We've seen them win. We've seen them come back and win. We've seen them figure out some things. And so I don't think anyone on planet Earth is doubting their ability to do that. Now, the health of Patrick Mahomes obviously matters a great deal, but I expect the Kansas City Chiefs to do what they need to do to be in contention because that is just who they are. The Chargers this year, I'm fascinated to see if they're able to figure anything out and if they're able to get better than they have been past seasons. They have no problem making the playoffs. It's just winning that playoff game is where they struggle. The Denver Broncos, depending on who you might ask, arguably last year would have went to the Super Bowl if Bo Nix was healthy. So this team is going to go as far as Bo Nix can take them. The secret to that Denver Broncos team that nobody usually talks about is that offensive line and obviously that defense. That defense is also top tier. So this year the Denver Broncos are going to be very interesting to see how Bo Nix recovers and to see if he continues to get better. And then that leaves us with the Las Vegas Raiders. The #1 overall pick in the NFL draft was Fernando Mendoza. He is with the Raiders. We also know that Kirk Cousins is with the Raiders. I don't think anybody knows who is actually going to start in week 1. I don't really know if that matters because the truth is the Raiders have to figure out how to best work with Mendoza, to figure out if Kirk Cousins is the way to go, and to figure out what this Raiders team is doing. They're the only team in the division that has a new head coach. They're also the only team in the division that didn't have a winning record last year. So it's going to be fascinating to see what this Raiders team is able to do, to see how they're able to compete, and to see how they're able to figure themselves out in this division with their new coach. The X factor in this division, a lot of people would probably say quarterback. I believe the X factor in this division is actually going to be coaching. What coach is able to make the best decisions? What coach is able to put their team in positions to win games? And what coach is going to make those decisions that at the end of the game, you're going to be saying, hey, they won this game because of this decision, or they lost this game because of this decision. I might be talking about taking the points, but hey, we'll just leave that for another day. Let me show you some of the previews of the people that I talked to for the AFC West. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. Don't forget to make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. And if you think about it, turn on those notification bells. And maybe if you want to make me really happy, leave me a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think about this video.
Depth is the word. We didn't get a lot of big playmakers like running backs or QBs. We got a lot of blue collar players for the foundation of our team. Our #1 or our first round pick was an edge. We got 4 offensive linemen, a D lineman, safety. So those aren't the exciting players, although we did get one. But those are the players that make a difference, that make the exciting players exciting because they allow them to do their work. So
Yeah.
I thought overall we had a pretty good draft.
And I would like you to know that when I was watching, I don't remember if it was day 2 or day 3, I can't remember. And because I'm a nerd and I look at people's drafts before the day starts and I like kind of see where I think they need a draft. That's true. And I was thinking, the Chargers, yes, offensive linemen. Like that was just because wasn't there like a guy off the couch last year? And then it was just not great. And so I remember watching the draft thinking, yes, okay, this draft makes sense to me. So I love when that happens because I don't feel too crazy. So having said that, if we're thinking like day 2, day 3, who do you think that you all picked up where you think that person might be a steal?
For us, and this goes back to my first point, is about that one exciting player.
I feel as a Raiders fan, as good as I felt in a good 4 or 5 years, I guess since the end of the Derek Carr era for the Raiders, right? So
No,
I think
not
that's
bad.
where I am right now.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about that draft. So I feel like everyone that ever watched football ever knew who the first pick was going to be, but a lot of us didn't know it was going to happen afterwards. So
Yeah.
having said all of that, what one word would you use to describe the draft?
Surprising. For
Okay.
the Raiders draft, surprising.
Okay. What made you surprised?
And it was surprising because it was really good, in my opinion. Previous years we might, Genty, I think last year was kind of a no-brainer. It was just, he was going to be there. Mendoza this year was a no-brainer. But Mendoza aside, everything else to me was really good for the most. And so I really enjoyed that. It looks like there's not new ownership. Obviously, Davis is still the majority owner and everything, but we do have some other voices in the room, if you will, and I think those voices are starting to be heard. And so this one was surprising in a good way for me.
Yeah, the one of the guys that I really wanted the Broncos to target all offseason long was Jonah Coleman. So when they drafted him
from
in
Washington,
the 4th round, yes, I was so pumped. He's everything that we've needed. When J.K. Dobbins went down last year, it was tough because we had a bunch of like 5'9", 200-pound backs. Those guys aren't going to get you the tough yardage. They have a little bit of a ceiling when it comes to pass protection, right? So Jonah Coleman's a pro's pro. He never fumbles. He was like the highest rated pass pro guy coming into the draft. Again, he just fits Broncos culture. And I just found this out that he was hoping to go to the Broncos. Like during the NFL draft, they had some exercise for them to do. And like he went up to the podium and said, with pick 62, the Denver Broncos select Jonah Coleman. But, it ended up being like 106 or something like that.
Oh, well. Semantics.
It's fine. But I love Jonah Coleman. He's another captain. We bring in a ton of captains. I think 6. I want to say, how many picks do we have? 7? I want to say 6 out of the 7 players that we brought in were team captains on their college team. So, I think that obviously you'll ride JK till the wheels fall off.
There are other guys that I liked a lot. The Sam Roush, Eli Raridan, Oscar Delp trio of tight ends that went in the 3rd round. We technically did pass on those. And that's not to say I would have taken them at pick 40, but you get one of those guys at 74. Maybe that's a question mark if you don't trade up in the 1st round too. So I wouldn't say it's a lot of players because I do think that they did a good job in maneuvering the board. Brett Veach seemed like he had a pretty good handle on where the positions were going to go in this NFL draft. So I don't have many critiques in that standpoint. But definitely, you're going to look at that offensive skill position weapon and say, hey, do you have enough juice there? That's the thing that's going to be a concern for me moving forward.
I can say that. And then the Jeff Caldwell of it all, since you mentioned receiver, how did you feel about that pickup? Have you had any time to dive into him? I am a fan if he can bring it all together, but I didn't know if you've had a quick second. By the way, I did not prepare you for this, but I just trust that you probably have looked into him. So what are your thoughts about Jeff Caldwell?
Yeah, the funny thing about it is that him and his teammate, both now Kansas City Chiefs, obviously we took Cyrus Allen in the 5th round as well. And so I was able to go back and dig into the tape of both of those guys because I didn't do a lot of work pre-draft. I did a little bit on Cyrus Allen, not a lot on Caldwell. And the thing about it is you obviously see the traits with Jeff Caldwell. Like he has the ability. He's a tall person. He can run very fast. And he does attack the ball, which is something that for big guys, I want you, if you're going to be that tall, fast dude, you got to go and attack the ball like you are a tall, fast dude. I think that there are a lot of things around his route running that needs to be developed, a lot of things.
As with the other divisions, the videos will release Monday through Thursday at 4 p.m. Central, and every single person that I collaborated with, if they have a YouTube channel, I will add them as a collaborator, so you can very easily find their channels. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, their information will always be in the description of every single episode. The last thing I want to say is I'm still going to continue to premiere because I have actually found it pretty cool to be there while it's premiering to hear these conversations back, and I just love the support. I need to thank you for being so supportive of the series, for watching the series, for engaging with the series, for being excited when your team is coming, for just all of your encouragement that I see people giving. I love when people love the things that I put together in my brain. It always makes it very fun. And for me, this is season 3. And so sometimes I get in my own head and I'm like, is this good enough? Do people still want to see this? So thank you. If you've engaged with this, if you've liked a video, if you've commented on a video, if you've waited for your team, if you're still watching even after your team has been shown, that is fantastic. The last thing I'll say before I end this video, these videos are actually really cool for you to figure out the competition of the teams that you're going to play. Since the schedule has been released, it's never a bad time to start researching. Anyways, let me know who you're excited to see in the AFC West. What videos are you excited about? And as always, I'll see you in my next video.